In this technique, uke is controlled with Ikkajo osai using a pivoting and shifting movement when uke grasps the shoulder and pushes. From Hidari Gekko Hami Kamae, shite uke shuffle in, uke grabs the shoulder as in the number 1 technique. As uke pushes, shite moves to the side, applies the temi, pivots 45 degrees, slides up uke's arm, pivots 180 degrees, shifts his weight down, taking uke to the mat, releases the shoulder, puts the right knee and the arm down at the same time, and applies the Ikkajo pin. Uke grasps the shoulder as in the number 1 technique. Moving with uke's push, they move to the side while applying an atemi. Slide up the arm, pivot 180 degrees to break uke's balance, shift the weight forward to take uke to the mat, release the grip, place the arm on the mat, and apply the Ikkajo osai. This is the same technique but performed from a sitting position. From Migi Hami Kamae, shite uke shuffle in and perform seizaho. Uke grabs shite's shoulder and pushes. Shite moves to the side, applies an atemi, pivots while sliding up uke's arm, pivoting on the left knee 270 degrees to the rear, taking uke to the mat, release the arm, put the arm on the mat, and apply the Ikkajo pin. As uke pushes, shite moves his left knee and left arm to the side while applying an atemi. Shite grabs uke's hand and pivots 45 degrees while sliding up uke's arm. Then shite pivots on the left knee 270 degrees to the rear while taking uke to the mat. Release the arm, control the wrist and elbow, and apply the Ikkajo pin. In this technique, uke is controlled with Ikkajo osai when uke grabs both shite's wrists from behind and pulls. From Migi Hami Kamae, shuffle in. For Oshirawaza techniques, we use the preliminary Hojo Dosa movement. Uke strikes at shite's head, and shite blocks. Then shite punches uke's side with a straight punch, and uke cuts down. Then uke moves behind shite and grabs both wrists at the hips. Moving with uke's pull, shite shifts to the side with the hands curling up. The hands raise up in a circular motion and changing the legs, shite moves to a low position, pulls the right foot up, grabs the elbow, and moves the left foot forward, cutting uke to the mat. Step in towards uke's armpit. Step in again, taking uke to the mat. Place the knee and the arm on the mat and apply Ikkajo pin. After Hojo Dosa, uke circles around shite to grab shite's wrist and pulls. As uke pulls, shite shifts on its back to the side with the hands curling up. Both hands circle up in a circular motion to uke's forehead, bringing uke up on his toes. Change the feet and move the back leg back in a diagonal direction as the hands cut down to chest height. Pull the back foot to the front as the right hand grabs uke's elbow. Move forward while cutting the arm down in a circular motion. The left hand moves towards the thumb to break Uke's grasp and to grab Uke's hand. Move forward again, taking Uke to the mat. Once more, taking Uke to a prone position. Place the arm and the knee on the tatami and apply the Ikkajo pin. In this technique, Uke is controlled with the Ikkajo technique using a pivoting and shifting movement when grasping both of Shite's wrists from behind and pushes. From Migi Aihami Kamae, shuffle in and perform the Hojo Dosu movement. Uke circles behind and grabs Shite's wrist and pushes. Moving from the front leg, move the whole body forward. Circle the hands up in a circular motion. Pivot on the back leg forward, over 180 degrees to face Uke, grab the elbow. Pivoting on the front knee, 180 degrees to the rear, take Uke to the mat. Put the right knee and the arm down on the tatami, and apply the Ikkajo Osai. As Uke pushes, move the whole body forward from the front foot as the hands curl up. Move the rear leg forward in a circular motion over 180 degrees and face Uke and grab Uke's elbow from underneath. As Shite pivots 180 degrees to the rear, the left hand naturally grabs Uke's wrist to break his balance. Shite shifts his weight, taking Uke to the mat, places the arm and knee on the mat at the same time, controls the wrist and elbow, and applies the Ikkajo pin. In this technique, Uke is controlled with the Ikkajo technique when Uke grasps one wrist and the collar from behind and pulls. From Migi Aihami Kamae, Shite Uke shuffle in and perform the Hojo Dosu movement. Uke moves behind and grabs the left wrist and the right collar. Shite shifts, raises the hands, changes the feet, applies a temi, brings the back foot forward, grabs the elbow, shuffles forward, cuts down. Steps in with the back leg, sticks in with the back leg again, taking Uke to the mat, puts the arm on the mat and applies the Ikkajo Osai. As Uke moves behind, he grabs the wrist and collar and pulls. Shite shifts on the front foot and curls the hands up. Raises the hands, changes the feet, moves diagonally backwards in a strong position, applies the temi, moves the front foot forward, grabs the elbow, cuts down, steps in again, taking Uke to a prone position, places the arm on the tatami and applies the Ikkajo pin. In this technique, Uke is controlled with the Ikkajo technique using a pivoting and shifting movement when grasping one wrist and the collar from behind and pushing. From Migi Aihami Kamae, Shite and Uke shuffle in and perform the Hojo Dosu movement. Uke moves behind, grabs the wrist and collar and pushes. Shite moves forward, circle the hands up, raise the hands in a circular motion, pivot over 180 degrees, punch, grab Uke's elbow, pivot 180 degrees to the rear, shift, taking Uke to the mat, put the arm and the knee down on the tatami and apply the Ikkajo pin. Uke moves behind and grabs in the same way as the number 1 technique. As Uke pushes, Shite moves his whole body forward from the front foot, raises the hands, and then circles hands up to the forehead, turns over 180 degrees, punches, grabs the elbow, pivots 180 degrees, shift, taking Uke to the mat, place the armor and the knee down on the tatami, and apply the Ikkajo pin. In this technique, Uke is controlled with the Ikkajo technique when grasping Shite's collar from behind and pulls. From Migi Aihami Kamae, Shite and Uke shuffle in and perform the Hojo Dosa movement. Uke moves behind and grabs Shite's collar with his right hand and pulls. Moving her front foot diagonally back, Shite raises both hands, pivots back, punches, moves forward, grabs Uke's elbow, shuffles forward, steps in again, taking Uke to the mat, puts the arm on the tatami, and applies the Ikkajo pin. Perform the Hojo Dosa movement, Uke grabs the collar and pulls. Moving with Uke's pull, the front foot moves diagonally to the rear as both hands are raised in a circular motion with the right hand above the forehead and the left hand back towards Uke. Keeping the weight strongly on the right foot, the left foot pivots back into a low position and the left hand applies an atemi punch to Uke's side while the hands circle down in a circular motion, stopping at chest height. The back foot is pulled up as the left hand moves to Uke's elbow from underneath, then shuffle forward and break Uke's grip and cut down. As Uke's hand comes off the collar, it's grabbed by Shite's right hand. Cross step in with the left foot towards Uke's armpit. One step more, taking Uke to the mat, put the arm on the tatami, and apply the Ikkajo pin. In this technique, Uke is controlled with the Ikkajo Osai technique when grasping Shite's collar from behind and pushing. From Migi Aihami Kamae, Shite and Uke shuffle in and perform the Hojo Dosa movement. Uke moves behind, grabs the collar and pushes. Shite shuffles forward, curling the hands. Raising the hands in a circular motion, pivot over 180 degrees, apply a temi with both hands. Grab Uke's elbow with the left hand, pivot 360 degrees on the front foot and shift, taking Uke to the mat, and apply the Ikkajo pin. Uke moves in a circular motion, grabs the collar and pushes. Shite moves the whole body forward, curling the hands up, raising the hands in a circular motion, pivoting over 180, punching with both hands. The right hand punches for Uke's face, the left hand punches for Uke's side. Grabbing the elbow from underneath, pivot 360 degrees on the front foot, taking Uke's off balance, taking him to the mat with a shifting motion, putting the arm on the mat, and apply an Ikkajo pin. In this technique, Uke is controlled with the Ikkajo technique when grabbing both Uke's elbows from behind and pulling. From Migi Aihami Kamae, shuffle in and perform Hojo Dosa. Uke moves behind and grabs Shite's both elbows. Shite shifts with the pull, moves back diagonally, pulls her front foot in, grabs the elbow, steps forward and takes the arm off, steps in towards Uke's armpit, steps in again, taking Uke to the mat, and applies the Ikkajo pin. Uke moves behind Shite after the Hojo Dosa movement and grabs both elbows strongly and pulls. Shite shifts and raises the elbows while he moves, then cross steps back diagonally, circling the hands down to chest height. Brings the foot up, grabs Uke's elbow from underneath, and shuffles forward. When Uke's hand comes off Shite's elbow, Shite grabs Uke's hand. Cross step in towards Uke's armpit, taking Uke down. Once more, taking Uke to the mat. Put the elbow and the wrist down, and apply the Ikkajo pin. In this technique, Uke is controlled with the Ikkajo Osai technique, using a pivoting and shifting motion when grabbing both Uke's elbows from behind and pushing. From Migi Ihami Kamae, shuffle in and perform the Hojo Dosa movement. Uke moves behind, grabs the elbows, and pushes. Move the whole body forward, raising the elbows. Bring the back foot around over 180 degrees. Grab the elbow. Pivot 180 degrees. Shift. Take Uke to the mat. Put the arm down and apply the Ikkajo pin. Uke moves behind, grabs the elbows, and pushes. Moving with Uke's push, raise the elbows in a circular motion. Pivot the back leg around and face over Uke while pivoting over 180 degrees. Grab Uke's elbow with the right hand, keep contact with the left. As the Uke's hand comes off, grab with the left hand, pivot and shift, take Uke to the mat, place the elbow on the tatami and apply the pin. In this technique, Uke is controlled with the Ikkajo Osai technique when grabbing both Shite's shoulders from behind and pulls. From Migi Ihami Kamae, shuffle in, perform the Hojo Dosu movement. Uke moves behind and grabs both Shite's shoulders and pulls. Shite moves with the pull and shifts. Changes the feet, moves the back foot back diagonally. Punches, brings the front foot up, grabs the elbow. Moves forward, cuts down Uke's arm. Steps in towards Uke's armpit. Steps in again, taking Uke to the mat. Place the arm on the tatami and applies the Ikkajo pin. Uke moves behind and grabs both Uke's shoulders on top, grabs strongly and pulls. Shite shifts with Uke's pulling movement as the arms circle forward, moving the shoulders forward. Move the back leg back in a diagonal position. Apply a turn to Uke's side as the back foot comes up. Grab Uke's elbow from underneath. Shuffle forward and cut Uke's arm down. As Uke's hand comes off Shite's shoulder, Shite grabs Uke's hand with his left hand. Steps in with the right foot towards Uke's armpit. Steps in again, taking Uke to the mat, and applies the Ikkajo pin. In this technique, Uke is controlled with the Ikkajo Osai technique when grabbing both Shite's shoulders from behind and pushing. From Aihami Kamae, shuffle in and perform Hojo Dosa. Uke moves behind and grabs both Shite's shoulders and pushes. Moving with Uke's push, Shite shuffles forward and circles the arm forward, brings the back foot around over 180 degrees to face Uke, punches, grabs Uke's elbow, pivots 180 degrees, then shifts, taking Uke to the mat, places the arm on the tatami, and performs the Ikkajo Osai. As Uke grabs and pushes, Shite shuffles forward from the front foot, and both arms move forward in a circular motion, moving the elbows forward and the shoulders moving forward. From the back foot pivot over 180 degrees to face Uke, punch with the right hand to Uke's side, then grab Uke's elbow from underneath. Pivot 180 degrees to the rear, at breaking Uke's balance while grabbing the left hand. Shift, take Uke to the mat, place the arm on the tatami, and pin.